So the next step, we've got the platforms on the legs, the concrete stands. I got everything level. Like I said, I put a few 2x4s to get the 48-inch width locked in so that I could move them up here and keep it. Now it's time to put in all of the extra boards. So 48, 2x4s, 1.5 inches, 45 inches, perfect dead nuts. I cut them about a 1/16 under, and we'll see where that falls. So let's get these things in, and then we can screw them all down. Alright, if you're following along with me, pat yourself on the back. We've got all the cross supports all tied in, and we have the sheets of plywood down. What I did was I pulled the sheet away from this wall so you could see the cross supports on this side, and I did the same on this side. I took my chalk line, it's just one person here, and I would hook it on to this side, pull it across. So what I would do is hook it onto this side, pull it all the way across both boards, pull it down, and snap it. I'm about 1/4 of an inch off between these two being perfectly at that end. Quite frankly, I might have moved just enough where I am that way. 1/4 inch is not going to matter on a 2x4, so really all I'm looking for is a line to get me so that I can put my screws down and make sure I hit the 2x4 cross support. I didn't do the ends. It's kind of obvious. We know the screw is coming in just a little bit, about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. I am using number 8s by 1.5" at the big box store that I got, and I am going to be putting them every 6 inches, so that is 8 across a row here for 48 inches. And I'm going to put the plywood, get them all back lined up here, and we'll start screwing these things down and get the base done. So I know I said I was putting 8 screws in here, but after I started building myself a template here, it's actually 7 screws. I did exactly what I did when I did the structural on the outside for the uprights, if you will, for this base. I came in 3/4 of an inch on each end, put a mark. I put one in the 24 right in the center, and then I did every 8 inches. So 8-inch mark, 16, 24, 32, 40, and like so. So all I'm doing is I take this, gets me close enough, and I can come in the center, work this way out, go to the other side, and do that side. Then I'll slide the board down, center on that, go out that way, walk back and forth. So I'm walking back and forth on each one, but it saves me from reaching. I think it's easier for my old bones. So I'll give you a little show of what I'm doing here, and we'll move along. Alrighty, so almost, I guess, not quite 2 hours, about 1 hour and 45 minutes later, a couple hundred screws done. If you can look in the background, I've got the sides all kind of staged, and we're going to be doing the sides in red oak. Why? Because I have a sawmill. So what I am using is red oak, 4.5 inches wide, and I am using 11 5/8 because the wood I had, clean it all up. I was trying to go a little taller, but 11 5/8 is going to work. Plenty of fun. I took a template and drilled out the holes for all of the side to mount into the uprights of the base. I built a jig that is 18 and 7/8 wide so that I can get the spacing properly for these, or evenly spaced. I don't know if it's necessarily properly, but my OCD says it is. And so we're going to screw these all together. I'm going to be using number 8's 2-inch long screws, and let's put it together. Alright, so what I'm doing, taking my spacer template, putting a mark on it, bringing up my support. I am clamping it to the top of my board. Try to make sure that I'm at least nice and straight with that. So when the trim piece comes on it, it fits nice and snug. And just 2 screws. Into the pilot hose. And we just keep on going down the line. So, what I'm doing for the inside to screw the sides into the supports is I took my template for the distance spacings and just marked up 3 inches and down 2 inches. I take it and try to get it about approximately center in the support, and I drilled 2 holes. Went down through this whole side and started screwing. So we'll continue this. There you go. One side in. Now, looks pretty good to me. There will be a cap that comes on and goes over, and I am going to take another strip of red oak and cover up. I'll show you here a little bit. I'm going to cover this up. That's why I made this 4 1/4. So I'll just cut some pieces to the length that I need and put them in there, and it'll hide that pine, and it'll look pretty nice. I think the goal here is actually potentially to stain this, so it'll look good there for that. And we'll have a cap over here on this. It won't be this wide, of course, but it'll come over and give you an edge to put your arms on as you're working on into the garden, and also cap over the liner that's going to come up and cap over on the side here. So let me continue on the other sides. I do have an issue on that side. I am using plywood, not red oak. I guess you could call me a little cheaper. Maybe I'm not cheaper. I had to buy the plywood. I didn't have to buy any of the red oak. But anyhow, I'm using plywood on that, and I need to put the supports over there. But to do that, I haven't figured out whether I'm going to slide the bed out to work on that or climb underneath. So I've got some work to do on that I have to figure out. But we'll get to that, and I'll show you how I did it. Alrighty, we got to the wall, to the outside wall. So my plan of attack, I got the plywood. I did 2x4s, again 15 and 5/8 long. I kept them, these are true 2x4s that I had planed to do the trusses, so this is leftover pieces for that. I lined it up, as you can see, approximately the same spot as the red oak wall supports are, and what I'm going to do is we're going to pick it up, put it into the down the wall, and then for better fun or worse or whatever, I am going to go underneath and screw in to the wall that way to get it tight. It's the easiest way. I don't feel like moving this whole bed out and then trying to re-level it. I think it's just too much muscle work. So this is how we're going to try doing it. Let's hope it works. All right. Slide this down. We didn't screw that one in. Huh?
Oh, so I know we didn't. Okay. Is that over? Want to lay it down and screw that one in first?
I'll screw it in first. Alrighty. Pretty much success. It is in. Little oops. This one here didn't get screwed in. So I'll just set that in and screw that one in too. But all in all, it is in place. So now all I gotta do is bring it in and clamp it too, and we should be good. So here's the 2x4 wall support down. It's a little bit of a gap. What I'm coming through is going through this 2x4 and screwing this 2x4 into that 2x4. This isn't fun. I repeat, this isn't necessarily fun. But what I've been doing is taking a speed square and just pushing it up there to make sure it is tight up against. The screws I have seem to be so good at going through. If there's a gap between the wood, it will just start screwing and keep that gap right there. So I take two screws. These are 3-inch long screws, number 10s that I am putting in. I'm putting them in slightly at an angle to hopefully help it a little bit. And I don't know if you can see, I had to put an extension and a longer bit on it to get all the way in to set it. But it is working. If I had to do it all over again, I would put these supports on, before I put this up against the wall and leveled everything. Just take a little bit more math. I thought I could do this, and I can do it. It's just a little harder, but we will continue. Well, that was a long weekend, but the beds are built. All we got left really is stain, put the liner in, put the caps on, and the plumbing. We're getting closer and closer. Got the sides all done. Plywood on the one side again, red oak on the outside. I took just a scrap piece of wood and toe screwed it in to hold the support in here. I think that's going to be strong enough. It should be strong enough. Really all it's doing is holding the weight from this side and the weight on that side, so once all the weight's in there, it's in balance, so we should be good on that. So we got 3 media beds going and 1 24-foot long floating raft. Alright, plumbing for that one's coming into here. Seed bed's going to be here, and then floating raft's going to go down our drain out there. These 2 media beds, plumbing in is on this side, and then drains on those 2 sides, and then have to look here. Plumbing here, so feed coming into this one. I couldn't remember, and drain for this side. So the siphon drain's coming over here, and then a siphon drain for over here for this one, and then a siphon drain for over here. So anyhow, we are getting closer. Fish tanks are in. Spoiler alert, I'm not sure which is going to come out, me making the fish tanks or this. I'm assuming the media bed's going to go. So we've got them cut out, starting to fill up with water. I have problems with our submersible tank. I had a soft wall and it collapsed and cracked, so I had to drain everything, go down there, and I used a Poly Welder Pro system. Thank you, Amazon. This is from Rainflow. Worked really good, seems to be anyways. Went down there, soldered it up, put the stainless screen in. There's a YouTube out there for us, so this was no fun task going down in there. This is a 5-foot sphere, 6 foot down in the ground. My claustrophobia was in kicking in overtime, but we got it done, and it seems to be holding water, so hopefully that's all good. Water pumps, they're in here. Got to plumb them in, so we're getting closer. Again, folks, thanks for sticking around. If you like, if you stuck this long, hopefully you like. Give me that thumbs up. If you hadn't hit subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Keith from Redwood Grows.